Welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today we are going to make a tallow soap. And this is a very simple recipe. It only has 4 oils for ingredients in that portion of it. Of course, there's the Lye Solution portion. Lye Solution portion. It's kind of a tongue twister. And today we're going to do the milk and oil method with buttermilk. I love buttermilk. I think it tastes great and it's great in soap. So any sort of a milk is good because the lactic acids, they have wonderful skin properties, and I have some buttermilk. So that's what we're going to do. I'll talk about how to do the milk and oil method when we get there. For the fragrance today, this was over on my shelf. It is called Orange Sickle. And it's from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and it is juicy and delicious smelling. It does have a slight discoloration to light tan. I wrote my notes on here. None meaning it doesn't cause acceleration or separation or ricing, and light tan means we're going to get a little discoloration. And that's okay because I have chosen some very vibrant colors to swirl in this tallow soap. Let me show you. I have, this is from Brambleberry. It's called Tangerine Wow. I've used this a few times before, and it is a wow. It's so beautiful. And so that's one color. And then the other one is Groovy Green. And this one's from Be Scented. So these two are our colors. So if it beiges up a little, that'll be fine. It'll knock down a little bit of the neon side. I mean, maybe we'll go full on 80s here. I don't know. Those colors grabbed me when I was thinking about the orange sickle scent. So that is what we're doing today. Buttermilk, milk and oil, vibrant colors, a delicious fragrance. And so let me get everything pulled together and let's come back and make some tallow soap. And I did want to mention, if you are enjoying the content on my channel and the recipes I'm providing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It sends YouTube algorithm the message that you're enjoying my content, and it encourages me to just keep making more content for you all. So I really appreciate the subscription. Thanks. And we are back, and it's time to get the oils prepped for this simple but wonderful tallow recipe. So what I have in here already is 11.9 ounces or 337 grams of tallow. And to this, I'll add my next oil, which is coconut oil. And I need 8.5 ounces or 241 grams of coconut oil. All right, that is it for our hard oils. And so I'm going to get these pre-melted a little bit, and then we'll come back for the liquid oils. And we're back for the liquid portion. The first liquid oil is castor oil. I need 1.7 ounces or 48 grams of castor. And castor is one of those oils that you don't want to overdo, but it's very nice when it's in there. It is a lather suspender. It doesn't create lather, but it suspends the bubbles that you do get. So if that makes sense, it just is a really good lather support in soap. But you don't really want to go over 5% or so in your recipe because it can make your soaps tacky feeling if you get too much in there. So a little is good, too much, not so good. All right, and our last oil is olive oil. I got this one at Costco. The price actually came down. Olive oil was crazy priced several months ago, and the prices are coming down again. I'm very thankful for that. So I need 11.9 ounces or 337 grams of olive oil. All right, there we go. That is all of the oils ready for our soap recipe. Let me go grab my dry additives, and I have my buttermilk here, and we'll talk about the milk and oil method. All right, so for the dry additives, I'm going to do my kaolin clay and my colloidal oats, which are kind of my staple. I typically put them in most of my soaps. A few times I have exceptions, but I just love how they are in soap, and so they're going in. This is about 1 tablespoon of kaolin clay for this volume recipe. And it will all be written down in the description box below. Another tablespoon of colloidal oats. And here is my buttermilk. So you never want to do less liquid than lye. So that's just your base ratio. So what I do, 4.83, that's almost 5 ounces of lye. I'm going to do 6 ounces of water mixed with my sodium hydroxide, which I'll bring over in a minute when I get my gloves on. and 4 ounces of milk. That's the leftover. This recipe, I am doing a liquid volume at 28%, so that would be about 10 ounces or 283 grams of liquid. So I've split that. 6 ounces of water with the lye and 4 ounces extra is my milk. And I'm adding it to the oils here. And I have never had an issue with scorching or curdling or any sort of thing like that. I just think milk and oil is a super easy way to add, and you get all the wonderful benefits of milk in there, and you don't have to worry about mixing it with your lye really slowly. And mixing milk with lye can be a little tricky. It can be done. You freeze the milk, and it's a whole other thing. But I have tested full milk soaps and milk and oil method soaps, and to me, I really can't feel a big difference. I feel like they both have the same creamy end result. So I love milk and oil, and here we go. Buttermilk and oil. And when I say milk, that could be anything from just straight up cow milk to cream to buttermilk to soy milk, oat milk. You can get really creative. So when I say milk, that would really include any milk type product you want. So now let's get all these additives blended up in here, and I will go grab my lye pot after my gloves are on, and we'll get to the next step. Back, and I have my lye solution. I have a few things to talk about first. So the first thing is this recipe is not a 50-50 split. It's a little hard oil heavy, and so it could move fast. It could be a faster moving recipe. Plus, the home rendered tallow that I'm using has some salt in it, and I think that translates through. My tallow makes my soap trace really fast. Now, I have purchased tallow before and it did not speed up trace at all, but this home rendered tallow that I have has been speeding up trace. So with that in mind, I have a couple different options for the soap pour that we're going to do. I have these long spout pitchers, which I love. And if things aren't speeding up too fast, I would like to do a drop swirl today with these really bright colors. If things do speed up fast and I just need to get it down in the mold, I have my trusty spoon here, and I will do a spoon handle swirl, a stick swirl in here if things are thickening up a little bit faster than I want them to. So there's that for the design that we're going to try to do in here. And then I wanted to show you, I made this lye yesterday. My basement is very cold. I'm in Tennessee and we are having a cold snap at the time of filming this. It's very cold in my basement. And I got lye lint on top, which is no big deal. It doesn't affect the soap at all, but I don't want chunks in here, so I'm going to run it through a sieve when I pour it to keep all the chunks out. So lye lint is not, I'm not sure. I need to look up the actual phenomenon, what's happening. It develops this crust on top. I broke through, and so there's chunkage in here. And I'm not sure what exactly all that is, but I know it does not affect the finished soap. So let's proceed by getting it in here, and let's see how this soap behaves. Also, I have the fragrance already in here. Blended it in because I know the fragrance behaves well. If this speeds up, it will be my home rendered tallow's fault, not the fragrance today, because I have worked with this orange sickle fragrance before. So just a word on that. All right, let's get in here, and I will not be stick blending aggressively. I will be stirring mostly with the stick blender to kind of get a feel and gauge how fast this soap is going to move on me. And there you can see the little chunks. I'm glad we're keeping that out of the soap. So I'm just going to pulse and stir. And you will see it beige up here. That's not the fragrance discoloring. That is the lye and the milk reacting together. So if we get a beige color after it goes through saponification, that will be the fragrance. But anytime you have a milk and a lye solution, it's going to beige up a little, and they will bounce back if you don't have a discoloring fragrance. All right, so far so good. Don't want to count my eggs before they hatch, but it's looking good. Let's get to our colors. Count my chickens before they hatch. That's the saying. are back. It is the next day. It's been 24 hours since we poured this, and look at those colors pop. I cannot wait to see what it's looking like on the inside. And I am going to unmold this today. Normally, when I have a soap that is such a slow trace, and this was a slow trace, and I believe that is due to the orangesicle fragrance, not my recipe. This recipe should have moved along just fine. So I think the fragrance caused a slow trace. And so this might be a little bit soft today. I'm hoping I can get it out of the mold without dinging up the corners too much. We're going to go ahead and give it a try. So let's get it out and see what we've got going on the inside. We are back with the lovely Olga, and I'm happy to report I did not ding up the sides here. So even though it feels a little tacky today, we're good to go for cutting. And I love that. And the Lye Solution did have sodium lactate, which does help with unmolding the next day. Totally not necessary, but it helps. All right, let's get in here and let's see what that drop swirl did for us. Oh, I think it's going to be beautiful. All right, that is pretty. And these colors are just dynamic. I love them. Very pretty. Oh my goodness. Sometimes a drop swirl is just so fun. So yeah, this fragrance definitely slowed down the soap. So if you wanted to do a really intricate pour, like a wood grain, this orangesicle fragrance would do you right. Loving it. Let's talk about the base color here, the uncolored portion. It is going to be this kind of an ivory color. I'm not seeing a ring around the soap, so I think this is going to stay stable, but it is very beige. You can see little teeny flecks. That's the oatmeal in there, but I love it. I'm not mad at it at all. And these colors, I mean, they're so vibrant. I think if you did these colors with an electric blue in there, you could go full on 80s, right? And I'm speaking from authority. I graduated high school in 1984, so I know my 80s colors very well, and Aquanet hairspray and the whole 9 yards. It was trippy. So one of the neat things about a recipe like this, and I would call this recipe pretty basic with just 4 oils, but with the addition of the buttermilk in here, it takes a basic soap and kicks it up a little bit, makes it special. Anytime you add a milk, it has great label appeal, so there's always that to consider. Oh, I think these are fun. My grandkids are going to love these colors, I hope. I think they will. These were fun to make too. So these do feel a little bit tacky, so I'm going to wait probably till tomorrow before I come in and do my beveling and stamping and all the things I like to do to my soap bars. Gosh, these are pretty. So fun. Anyway, I hope you give the recipe a try, and I hope you have a wonderful day.